Welcome, everybody, to a special episode of I Love You, I Know.
I love you.
I love you too, John. So, if you guys are watching, you see that Sarah has turned into a man. She's also a foot taller. Her name is John now. But in actuality, that's not the case. If you guys are listening, this is one of my best friends, John. He's going to be the best man in my wedding, actually.
Hello.
So,
sorry for my voice. I'm kind of sick right now, but
that's perfectly fine.
Awesome.
Just stay on it, like get it good.
Oh, baby,
you'll be good. You'll be great.
Thank you, Kyle.
You'll do great.
You're
I believe in you. I believe in you. I believe
you,
every part of you. I believe in you. So the reason that I'm having him on is because I needed somebody else to talk to about Horizon Zero Dawn, because it's just so good.
Yeah.
So good. I'm actually kind of, I was a little perturbed because I'm normally when I play these games, I play them with Sarah kind of sitting right next to me, so she kind of gets to experience the game, kind of not playing it, but getting to experience it.
Yeah.
Without actually playing it. And this is like the only game that we haven't done that with in a long time, because she's not with me most of the weeks.
Because she's dead. She died.
She's not
I'm
dead.
Just kidding. I'm sorry.
She's not dead.
No.
She isn't dead. That really makes me sad on the inside.
I'm sorry.
And
it's just the way you said, she's not with me anymore. I'm like,
she's not with me anymore.
Okay. I got to run with it. You gave me it.
Well, I did give it to you, and you went with it, and so I have to give that to you. I have to give that props.
Moving on. Sarah's not dead. Sorry.
So, all right. So I wanted to talk to you about Horizon Zero Dawn. So you finished it. When did you finish it?
I'm one of those people who, I love Final Fantasy. I love these big epic games. I love stories. And so with Final Fantasy, that's a game that for me is an 80-hour game.
Mm-hmm.
Horizon Zero Dawn, when I finished it, it too was an 80-plus hour game. However, I ended up beating it within about a week, and for me that is, more like a week and a half. And for me that's very unusual. I was extremely surprised how quickly I beat it after I got it.
And you went through all the side quests and everything, right?
I did pretty much every side quest as I went through, just before the final mission, because I knew that we're getting the crescendo. This is the big epic.
It clearly said you can't go any further once you go here. So this is a point of no return.
I had a few little kind of optional extras to finish up, and I want to just get them done just in case. And maybe not really a spoiler alert, because most of you folks like looking at trophies too. At least the ones that are easy to get. That you do want to complete the majority of the side quests before you complete the game, because there's a trophy for it. Now, granted, if you don't, it's okay. It's not going to hurt anything, because it will reset back to just before the final quest, and you can finish it up there.
Right.
But for me, I like to kind of experience the story as I'm going through, because generally when I finish a game, that's it. I'm done. Because again, I just poured 80 hours into this thing. Yeah. So I need a break. I've got a huge log of games I want to play.
Exactly. So what you were saying, there is a trophy about there's a trophy that says, if you get all of the allies, I think is what it called it. So there's different side quests that go around, and the people that you meet in these side quests will end up liking you. They figure out the kind of person that you are and whatever, and then they join you in the final battle. So
and we can get more into that later, because I'm sorry, I kind of got off on a little tangent. Really just talking about how engaging the game is.
Yeah.
For those of you who haven't tuned out yet, we can give you just a little bit of information before, because we really do want to talk about this game. I mean, it is truly amazing. If you're someone who has enjoyed epic stories, RPGs, not necessarily true
because really I want to talk about the mechanics first, the actual gameplay and how the game
They do a very
works.
good job of weaving the mechanics in with the story, in with very likable, enjoyable characters that I find myself telling other people, hey, you really should try this. I think you might enjoy it. And it's not just because I liked it, but because I think you might enjoy it too.
Mm-hmm.
So for those of you who haven't tried it, go ahead and borrow a copy from a friend, pick up a used copy at GameStop. If you don't feel like paying full price, that's okay. There's plenty of reviews out there, online, elsewhere, where you can see scores and, true spoiler-free reviews. It's worth it. I will just say it's worth your time to pick it up and give it a try.
Yeah.
It's truly.
Because us talking about it is not going to give it justice either.
Well,
because
we are going to try.
I mean, yeah, I'm going to try.
But if you don't want the story spoiled, and seriously, this story is very masterfully crafted, and the way that it peels back the layers and reveals it, and weaves the player in with the character, is very well done, and it truly is worth your time.
Absolutely. Well said.
That being said, let's jump into the fun part.
So, I think I'm going to start with the tutorial. So the beginning of the game, because I had told Sarah when I was talking about, because I actually I started the game, and then I thought that the beginning of the game was so compelling that I actually played it over again with her.
Yep.
So the way that the tutorial works in this game is just so masterfully crafted. And so it starts off with Aloy is the main character. She's a baby at this point, and her caretaker named Rost is taking her up this mountain, and he's kind of explaining, oh yeah, there's the Nora, and they were outcasts, and there's these big machines, and they have to be respected, but yeah, blah blah blah. And he's kind of he's really explaining to Aloy, even though Aloy doesn't understand, but we know who he's talking to. He's talking to us.
This is your world, and you know cuts of the creatures that they go by, and you see this beautifully crafted. I mean, they show you kind of the world they're living in through the cinematics in the beginning as he's explaining to this, just kind of talking to this baby.
Yeah.
And really the whole point of it is, I mean, he's taking her up to, the tribe's kind of naming ceremony and kind of giving us this introduction to the world. And I mean, this is just really even scratching the surface. And you kind of get the dynamics of what's going to happen in the rest of the game. The story and the conflict. How Aloy and Rost are outcasts from the tribe, but you don't really know why, and that's going to be a big theme for quite a while in the story. But
it's going to be a big theme. It's going to be a big theme for Aloy the entire time.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, everything about that is it all comes back to, okay, here I am as an outcast, and now you're accepting me after all of this. It's a big thing of contention with her, but so Ross does this big naming ceremony, and so he after that it kind of skips forward a little bit, and you see Aloy as a young girl.
Yep, maybe like 8 or so, give or take.
Yeah, really, really young.
And that's okay for a fast forward. It made sense.
And at this point, she is dealing with being an outcast at this point. So she's confused at why she's an outcast. She's looking at all of the other children in the tribe and saying, like, why can't I converse with you? Why can't I be a kid just like you? And so there's that's one part of it. And she goes to Ross and she's like, why are we outcasts? Why am I outcast? Because she was outcast as a child, as a baby. Yep. And so he tells her that there's this whole thing called the proving, which is if Aloy wins, she actually gets kind of what he tells her is that she's outcast. This particular tribe that she's a part of, the Nora, they are a matriarchal society. And so part of the problem is that for reasons that are unclear to us as character or players, and as Aloy as a character, her mother's not in the picture. She doesn't have a mother. And so Rost is kind of her, I don't know if adopted is the right word, but basically her guardian. But even still, Rost is an outcast. And so because of that, she has this stigma of being an outcast and being shunned. And in fact, that is the way that this tribe, not just in Aloy's case, but you see it through side quests and stories, and they explain throughout there. A lot of people get outcast. Like, that is kind of their really one punishment, it seems like, in their form of judicial system. It's like, oh, we're just not going to talk to you.
Yeah, we're going to kick you out from the safe walls from the giant machines, and for a month, a year, 10 years, you're going to live out on your own, away from the protection and the tribe.
Yeah.
And in this particular world, this post post-apocalyptic world.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't even talked about that yet, but that's one of the big things for this game. I mean, when we all saw the trailers, I mean, how many times have we seen like a Fallout or a game where, the world has ended and it's in ruins and society is trying to pick itself up into pieces, and it's this very grim, dark world.
Yeah.
And in this game, it's like, okay, the world ended, something happened, humankind as we know it is gone. And the world has come back, it's sprung back to life, there's green everywhere, there's wild animals, in this case there's giant mechanical robots for reasons we don't know yet, and people are back. And they've developed societies and groups, but they really have minimal knowledge of their origins.
Right.
So that's another part of this game.
You're flung so far into the future that you've lost everything that made you a human, pretty much.
Yeah. The past is this mystical. Oh my God! Had this wonderful technology, but at the same time, these people were, our past ancestors were heretics because the gods rained fire down. Basically, each tribe has their own kind of end of the world / origin story as far as why they're important and why they're following the correct path, which is is interesting to see play out. And Aloy as a character, of course, she's been shunned and outcast her whole life, so she has. All she's known is what Ross has taught her, which is basically how to survive. It's important to be part of the tribe, to kind of instill that sense of it's important to help others, even if they don't necessarily show they care about you.
Yeah.
Which, again, for an RPG, hey, we're all used to side quests, people giving us, here, go do this for me, which works out for the mechanics. And this is going to be a really big part of this game.
Yeah.
The way that they meld the mechanics in with the gameplay. So as a player, we don't get really too tired or frustrated or burned out, like, oh, I have to go do this again. It's like you feel part of it, and it's a really enjoyable experience.
It really is. Anyway,
Sorry,
Aloy has to get no. This was good. This is really good.
I love this game. I consumed it. It was amazing.
And so you go through this thing where with Aloy, the whole tutorial part of it showing you how to play is with her as a child. So you're actually kind of learning these mechanics with her as a child, as if a child were learning how to shoot a bow and
avoid
and
the
avoid
monsters,
avoid mortars. Yeah, and so like that is just so cool. You don't find tutorials like that because in a lot of games, like let's just put Nathan Drake out there.
Good game, fun.
Every game kind of gives you a tutorial on what exactly to do, but yet Nathan already knows how to do all this.
Yeah. So why are they telling me to go ahead? I think other podcasts and videos have talked about this in their commentary. It's like, yes, we've seen how to run and jump and shoot and duck before.
Yeah.
Why are you showing this to me?
Right.
And they don't really, while they give you that tutorial and that explanation, they don't handhold you and treat you like you're stupid.
Yeah.
So if you've played, stealth games like Assassin's Creed before, great. You don't feel like, oh my God, please, why are you making me do this? And if you've never played a game like this before, you still get, because I've watched Anne play it. She hasn't quite gotten as far as we have. But she's able to get those tutorial elements because she hasn't played this game type very often.
Right.
And it doesn't feel like it's pedantic.
And there's also different ways
into the gameplay.
And there's also different ways that you can play this. I mean, you can play this game completely stealth.
That was me
for the most part. Yeah, and I've tried to do stealth. I mean, you and I did the Silent Hunter, that armor set.
Oh, that was so awesome.
And which is great because you could just like walk up to enemies and they don't even see you, because as if you level them up high enough, but you could also play this game as just a fucking tank and just be like, come at me, bro, and you can live.
Well, eventually, yeah. I mean, in the beginning, again, tutorial. They do a good job of explaining that everything out there will probably kill you if you fuck with it. It's bigger than you, so you have to be smart.
Yeah.
And it teaches you, hey, again, like you're talking about in the tutorial there, here, if you find its weak point, attack its weak point, you can kill it quicker. As opposed to just randomly shoot arrows at it. Yeah, it'll go down eventually, but you're going to have a longer battle, and the longer the battle goes on, the more chance of other enemies joining in.
Yeah. And there's this thing called the focus that Aloy has on her temple, and so you can click R3 to activate that, and then you can scan different things in your area, including scanning the machines, and it'll actually give you its weak points and things like, oh, this weak point is actually weak against fire, so shoot a fire arrow at it and it may explode.
If you shoot the fuel tank on its stomach, it'll explode into a ball of fire and damage nearby enemies. Well, that's good to
really
know.
great. I mean, it's just
yeah,
shit like that. So with that, it's really quite cool. And so as Aloy is getting in, is learning all this stuff, it gives a cool cinematic of her training and her becoming better and whatnot. She'll trip and fall a little bit, and then by the time that she's ready, she's fucking ready, and she's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, she has a goal.
Yeah.
The tutorial gives you just really the bare basic elements of the game, and then it's like it gives you this very motivational pump up.
Yeah.
Like Aloy, if she wants to learn more about where she came from, the proving is their coming of age ceremony, and if she wins, number one in the proving, not just like finishes it, but like is the top in it, then she can ask for any boon she wants. And she's like, well, my boon is she decides as a child, I wanted to know who my parents are. I want to know where I came from.
Yep.
And so you then get treated to this montage of her, kind of fast forward as she grows up, hunting creatures and going through the wilds and training with Rost, and you see her as she grows up with that until it kind of, I guess she's 16, 18-ish,
something like that, I would think.
Coming of age, I mean, whatever it is for this tribe, that's fine. By that point there, it's almost like you've heard Eye of the Tiger in your mind, and this is, I know this stuff is bigger than me and this world is huge and things are going to kill me, but, I'm ready, and Aloy is ready. And then they let you out kind of into the world as like this brand new creature, more or less, new character, Aloy, but she's still very green. I mean, she knows a little bit about the Nora, but she doesn't know the customs of the tribe. She doesn't know a whole lot. And the world as a whole, she's completely ignorant of.
Yeah.
And so, as a
because
player,
she has no
reference.
connection to the Nora, so she didn't know things like, oh, the Karja have come through for years and did these things called Red Raids, where they just snatched up people and put them in a coliseum and killed them.
Yeah. And so
it's like,
as the player, if you choose the dialogue option, say, well, what are the Red Raids? It's not a case of, well, you're an idiot. Aloy knows, even if the player doesn't know, and all the characters she interacts with are more or less aware of it because, oh yeah, we've heard about this huntress that's come out that
yeah.
And
then like people will be like,
it's organic,
yeah,
and that's great.
And people are like, what have you been living under a rock? And then she's like, yeah. I mean, it's like, it's so good when that shit like that happens. It was like, yeah. But that really, really pushes the story forward, I think, is her not knowing what's going on, her not understanding the customs and everything of these different tribes, because she's going to learn it as you learn it.
Yep. So, I mean, the exploration in the game feels natural, feels organic.
Feels very organic.
It's unlike, I love Assassin's Creed, I do. But, the last couple ones, we've got this huge open world, and it's like, okay, isn't this person from this place? Hasn't he heard of these places?
Yes.
Why does everything literally have a fog of war around it? What's my incentive to collect 500,000 trophies and little collectible things? It's like, now there's still collectibles in this one, but it's not quite as heavy-handed. Now, granted, this is the first entry of this type from this developer, and considering this is their first time doing a game like this, they did a good job. Yeah,
this is the developer is Guerrilla Games. They're a Sony first-party developer, and they're famous for Killzone. Killzone, which is a first-person shooter. It's not an RPG. It's not open world. It's completely linear. I mean,
and here's a open world third-person stealth action RPG, kind of like Shadow of Mordor or Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, it's completely different than what their pedigree would say.
They pulled it off. And I'm sorry to everyone out there. I mean, you don't know me. That's fine. And I'm sure I probably sound like a fanboy. I'll own it. I'll live it. Okay. I'm not really, but I've played enough games, and I appreciate what they tried to do and what they accomplished. Is it perfect? It's probably not a 10, but it was extremely enjoyable, and I think for how ambitious of a project it was, they pulled it off.
Yeah. And I mean, I was telling you the other day, I was like, dare I say it, that this is,
Yep.
dare I say it, this is probably the best game I've ever played. Yep. And that is going up against The Last of Us. The fucking Last of Us, which is, by all accounts, perfect in every way, shape, and form. I mean, just...
hey, I mean, everyone's going to disagree about what the best game ever, or the best game they ever played is, and that's fine. I mean, for me, I will say when I played Final Fantasy VII, again, we'll go with the fanboy argument, for me at the time, that was the best game I'd ever played. Oh my God. But at the time, considering what they had done, how ambitious it was amazing. There's been a lot of games that come out since then, and I can't compare Final Fantasy VII to later games because the technology is completely different. You're able to pull off so many new different tricks and things. But for right now, considering where we are and the way that the community has grown and the way the games have grown, I will agree. This is probably the best game I've ever played so far.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And it'll definitely be on my top 5 list probably for my life. I mean, there's a couple ones out there that, okay, yeah, it's out of date. The mechanics might get kind of annoying. Yeah. But I really enjoyed it, and every couple of years I pick it up again to play it. This one is going to be helpful in that category for me.
So once she finishes the proving and all that, all that jazz happens or whatever, there's a huge turning arc in there where she figures out what's happening to her and everything.
The real story starts.
Yeah. That's when the real story starts, is after the proving. So she kind of gets thrust out into the rest of the world at that point.
Yep.
And that's when your side quests start opening up. That's when you're getting like 2 main quests that you got to work through.
Yep.
I like that they actually give you 2 main quests. Like, oh, there's a quest that you can go off a little bit this way, and you can hit up that quest, or you can go.
This main character is important to advance the story, or kind of keep searching after the what happened to the world. I mean, you actually get that's a good way to look at it. There's 2 different stories going on, and that's kind of the theme of the game. One is the story that Aloy is dealing with.
Who am I?
Yeah. And then the other one is what happened to this world.
Yeah.
How did the world get this way? And eventually those stories kind of start intertwining more because Aloy is, because she's got this focus, because she's able to kind of communicate sort of with the machines, which is very unusual for all the folks here, in this world. That makes her very special.
Yeah.
And
no one's ever.
And at the same time, it doesn't, like we keep talking about, it doesn't feel like it's forced or shoehorned in. It feels very organic. I mean, how many times we've all seen the eagle vision? We've all seen be able to scan and look for clues. The Batman. I mean, it's there. We're used to the mechanics, and sometimes it feels more forced than others.
And so it's different because she's the only one with one of these things. She's the only person that knows what's going on. She can see things
is she
that
so special.
Yeah,
you'll find out.
Yeah, and that is every tiny little detail is just masterfully crafted. Yep. Like every single thing that you do has a purpose. I think. And side quests are not stupid. I think that every single quest that you have in there really has to do with something. Yeah. You're either helping a specific person, or you're going to have something where like something bad is happening that you need to stop. And
now that I think about it, you're right. There was never, even though the actual objectives might have been kill this, gather that, go bring this from A to B. It never felt that way.
Yeah.
Because once you got there, it's like, whoa, wait a second, there's more to it. And in some cases, I'm sure we've all experienced this in side quests in games. I've already killed 10 of this creature. I've collected things. Oh, now I got to go kill 10 more. Nope. If you've already killed this thing and collected its parts, great. You can just pick the quest. You can turn it in right there.
Yeah.
Done.
Which is really awesome.
Yep.
There are some things in there where you have to like get a specific trophy or whatever,
Yeah.
But that it's not telling you to kill like 10 of them. It's telling you, just kill 1.
Yep, kill 1, kill 2 of this, kill 3 of that, just to prove for this guy, hey, I've done it.
Yeah,
well, yeah.
And then the more that you play, like there was one time where it was like, oh, kill 2. What what's the not the it's not the Stalker, it's not the Ravager, it's the Sawtooth. They were like they said, "Oh, go kill 3 Sawtooths." And I was like, "I've killed like 5 of those things."
Yep.
And they're like, "Oh, but I need the trophy for it."
I
gotcha.
didn't think
Okay.
about that. I should have kept that shiny thing.
Yeah. So, but so you got to go kill more Sawtooths. But as the game progresses and as you get better weapons and as you get better armor and everything just seems to get a lot easier as the game goes by. And as
yes and no. I mean, you've got
yes and no, because you are going up against some really crazy.
You eventually reach a point. I mean, okay, you finish the proving. You go out into the wide world. Okay, you've had some time to hunt the machines that are in that area. And just for those of you who haven't seen it, you probably already have. All the machines more or less resemble like real life animals.
Yeah.
I mean, some of them are like gazelle and giraffe. Well, not really giraffe. Yeah, actually, yeah, giraffes. Horses, hyenas, and even some of them look like dinosaurs.
Yeah.
No, they're not all dinosaurs. I know some folks said robotic dinosaurs. There's like 2.
Yeah,
but
like
still,
the Thunderjaw really looks like a dinosaur.
It's a giant robotic Tyrannosaurus Rex. Now, granted, when you see it, it's impressive and scary as hell.
Yeah. When you see one of those things, like
scary.
you do not want to go up against it.
No.
And it's got a damn disc launcher on its back
Yeah,
that
I
it
mean,
can shoot.
when you first come across it, at that point there, you're I'd say maybe a third or halfway through the game. When you first come across one, you're feeling pretty confident. You've
leveled up. You know your mechanics.
And then you see this thing, and yeah, you might decide, I could take that on. Or actually, the first one I tried
and
to
it
take
will
on
still
was,
kill you.
It was like a giant robotic buffalo. And I'm like, yeah, I got this. I've fought stuff, whatever.
The Charger.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nope. Did not go well.
Yeah.
So, it still kind of keeps that. You still stay, cautious and hesitant, and realize that anything in here could kill you if you aren't smart.
Yeah, and depending on how you traverse the map too,
Ride a mount.
Yeah.
Sneak.
That's the thing. So like you can walk by, and there's these different parts where it's like, oh, these are where Glinthawks hang out. This is where Ravagers hang out.
Giant robotic flying birds.
Yeah,
you will learn Glinthawks. You will hate Glinthawks. Even at the end of the game, when you're powerful, they're just annoying as hell.
They're annoying as hell because they fly, and you're on the ground. And any time that something can fly, it always has the upper hand, always, and it shoots you with ice. They're fucking dicks.
Yep, it's not insurmountable. I mean, you will pick up various weapons and tools to use, and all throughout the game, you can either go brute force and just shoot arrows and bombs and stuff, or you can use your tools to lay traps.
You can use a rope caster to tie it down. Yeah, which is the only way to take out a Stormhawk.
They're annoying as fuck. Yeah, and feel free to edit that out. I don't know if you can say fuck in your channel.
Yes, fuckity fuck.
Woo
woo. Anyway, but it's just with that as well. I feel like each individual quest is something new.
Yes.
Like you're doing kind of the same things.
But they don't feel the same.
But they don't feel the same. It feels fresh. Like every single one of them.
And part of that is, as you're going through this world, you're treated to different environments. Like when you first start out, it's kind of wintry and icy, and like you got trees and forests and stuff. And then you get out to another area, and
there's like Great Plains.
Yeah, it's like the
areas.
Great Plains.
Yeah.
And you get another area, and it's all desert and jungly areas.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, where the hell are we?
Yeah.
Again, that's part of the exploration of the story. Where are we? How did this happen? And it's revealed in pieces as as Aloy with this ability to read machines and touch this ancient advanced technology. She's able to see glimpses of the past, recordings that were left behind, and you actually kind of, as a player, explore and see, oh, I know where this is. This is so cool.
And the crazy thing is that these areas, because of what's going on in that universe, the weather that matches up in that area today doesn't match what it's doing there. Like the area around Meridian, okay?
Yes.
So there is an area like to the east of that, which is kind of that arid desert type of area.
Well, it's accurate-ish. I mean,
but then as you go a little bit to the east, a little bit to the west of Meridian, you're finding the same type of topology, yet in a jungle. Do you know what I'm saying?
Okay, I'm following you there.
So it's like, oh, well, you know, it doesn't look like a jungle, but it does now because of what's happening.
It's post-apocalyptic. The world has ended. The world has come back. It's regrown. And
that's kind of what
that's cool.
So I think that, you know, we've touched on questing, we've touched on mechanics. I think that we can touch on kind of like what makes this game really, like, what wraps it up in the end. And so
for me, that was story.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, story.
Absolutely. Without it, this game would be just a really good playing game.
Yeah. The character development. I mean, it's you've got some kind of choose your own dialogue options. They're not your Dragon Age or Mass Effect type choices where they change the story all that much. The story kind of goes.
It's pretty much the way that you want to.
How you want to approach the situation.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's
how you want
of,
Aloy to react.
Yeah. It's kind of halfway between Uncharted, where everything's fully scripted and you're kind of watching a movie just about, and partway it's like a Mass Effect where you're choosing what happens and your actions have consequences.
Yeah,
so you're kind of choosing how the movie plays out and how your character reacts and how people react to you. And it's very fun and enjoyable without feeling like, oh, I chose the wrong choice. I missed something. I'm not going to get this cool reward because I need to go look up what's the best option to choose. Just choose whatever feels right for you.
Yeah.
And choose how you feel Aloy would respond. And sometimes it's fun to go back and change those choices.
Yeah. And you get, and the way that the story is given to you is just, I can't tell you how awesome it is to just experience that story unfold.
Absolutely.
I mean, I want to talk about it, but I don't because it's just
we
so
said this
good.
was going to be a spoiler.
I know I did that. I said it was going to be spoilery, but I just don't.
You can even cut out the part about saying the location because that's really the only spoilers we've given so far.
But so I mean, you find out that there was this huge cataclysmic event that was caused by humans that ended up just destroying the entire Earth.
Yep.
And
that's no spoiler. It's kind of we've seen this theme on plenty of games before, and it's not really spoiling anything because you kind of figure out because you see ruins of humanity. This obviously takes place on Earth. Something happened, and we probably did something to cause it. Not to say that humankind is going to destroy. Every game is going to be a little bit political. This game manages to touch those topics without being heavy-handed political. I know we've all played those ones where it feels like, oh, I love the Anno series, and the last one was the tycoons versus the ecologists, and it's like, okay, this feels way too political. This game does not do that. It gives you the story. It doesn't really talk too much about it's about people, people and interactions with each other.
Because when you're fighting, when you're literally in the situation that they are in at the end of all of their lives, there is no point but to work together against this common quote unquote enemy that they have, because you figure out that there is a team that's put together of people all around the globe trying to fix this issue, or not exactly fixing the issue, but to at least give a solution, something that we may not make it. We are probably all going to die, but we're going to work to try and get humanity to live after us. We're going to save the world.
We're going to save the world.
Yeah. That is just really, really cool. And I can't bring myself to really spoil. I just can't do it.
Which is why it's so much fun. I mean, we talked about we want to do this podcast, this video for a while, and granted, I beat the game pretty quickly. Kyle, because of school and all the traveling back and forth and getting ready for the wedding and stuff, he's had to kind of space out his playing. And he, as of this video, he just beat the game like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Where I've had it beaten for like a month.
Right.
And so when Kyle would come up to me and he'd be like, "Oh my God, when this thing happened, it was so amazing." I'm like, "I know, right?"
Yeah.
So Kyle would say, "Oh, the story, it's so deep. Oh my goodness." I'm like, "You just scratched the surface."
I know.
It's amazing. You're gonna love it.
I came to you a couple weeks ago, and I was like, "Oh my God, the Pharaoh Corporation was behind everything," and you're like, "Yeah, get on my level, bro." It was like that.
Not so rude, but yeah, absolutely. But that's again going back to the story, how layered and masterfully, and as you go through it, just the way it unfolds.
The way that it unfolds organically is just
as you
beautiful.
Feel it, and Aloy understands what's going on, but she knows she doesn't know everything, and she knows there's more to the puzzle, so she keeps digging.
And still at the end, she still doesn't know everything.
True.
She still doesn't know exactly what's happening.
So if you haven't gone ahead and done all the side quests and done everything, for you as a player, go ahead and jump back into the game, and you can pick right where you left off. In fact, I encourage you to do so after you beat the game, because you actually get a little bit more cinematic too.
Mm-hmm.
And I really do hope they make a sequel to this game. I do. And considering how successful it was.
At the end credits. So you saw the cinematic at the end, right?
I saw the cinematic from the end credits, and I saw the cinematic when I started the game back up after beating it.
Yes.
Yep. So that's what I was talking about there. So that's what I'm saying. Please, without me spoiling it too much. I don't know if it'll spoil anything. I don't want to accidentally.
They're definitely making another one.
Yeah.
It sets it up perfectly.
Yeah. Now, granted, the game, like so many others, might never get made, but considering the success,
I mean, this sold a good amount. I think
they raked in the money.
I
haven't looked at numbers, but
right now, I think it's sitting at 2.6 million units.
Okay,
that's pretty damn good. I mean,
especially for a brand new IP,
brand freaking new IP. Exactly. I mean, now we're never going to get up to Uncharted 4 numbers, which is something like 8.5 million, but it's Uncharted.
Well, again,
and it's also Naughty Dog. People just look at that logo and they sit there, I'm going to fucking buy that shit.
At the same time, I mean, when the first Assassin's Creed came out, I have no idea how well it sold. I'm looking at it as a very similar type of response, where this is the first time they did this. And again, if I'm wrong, please tell me, and I'm okay if I'm wrong. The mechanics from Assassin's Creed 1 to Assassin's Creed 2 were very similar, but this was their first time doing it, so it was very much like a stealth genre kind of game.
Yeah.
And then 2, it's like, wait, this was good. Let's go ahead and do more because of how popular it was. And I fully see them doing that with this one.
Yeah.
I mean, they came out with something they wanted to try. This is their proof of concept. Will it work? Can we do this type of game?
And I think that they succeeded.
People loved it.
I think they succeeded in all aspects of that. I really do. It was really, really quite awesome.
Yeah. And
which is why I wanted to talk about it. I want people to go out there and I want them to buy this game.
Yeah.
I want them to play this game.
Buy the game, borrow the game from a friend. I mean, now that Kyle's moving back to Orlando, we're looking forward to doing a game sharing, so we don't have to necessarily each buy every copy of every game.
Yeah.
Does that mean that one of us might not get the DLC? Speaking of which, if you're getting this game used or secondhand or borrowing from a friend, don't worry about the DLC. The extra add-ons that you get, it won't hurt you not to have it. You'll get an extra bow that you'll buy anyway. You just won't start with it.
Yeah.
Does it hurt anything? No. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
And it's worth it no matter what. And I'm going to keep saying that over and over again. It's worth it. And I tell other folks about it who are gamers.
I mean,
maybe haven't played it. They didn't really catch the videos of it.
Right.
I mean, the initial videos when it came out, of course, it caught my interest. I'm a huge sci-fi buff. I also, as a kid, I loved dinosaurs. I mean, what kid didn't?
And I also didn't think that I was going to get into this because I was thinking that this was kind of going to be more towards that high fantasy type of deal. But when I'm sitting there like, oh, wait a minute, this is all grounded in like shit that could actually happen.
Speaking of which, the person that they modeled Aloy's character after was actually Ygritte from Game of Thrones.
No shit, really?
Seriously.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep. And there's actually in one of the interviews they talked about it. And if looking back after the fact, it's like
totally
the red hair, the personality. I can see where they came from with
yep.
this.
Totally get that.
Yep.
She's a wonderful character.
She is.
She's just a great character.
Gush.
I know.
Fanboy. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I'm not going to say. I said at the beginning of this. This may or I mean, dare I say it? It's the best game I've ever played.
Yeah.
It's really, really good.
I mean,
and I'm hard on shit.
And if you don't,
there's games that I've started and I'm like,
if you
fuck
don't
it.
like it, or you decide that you're not interested in this gameplay type, you're not interested in the stealth mechanics or the Assassin's Creed or Shadow of Mordor or Batman Arkham Asylum, those genre games. Okay, that's totally cool. For me, that was a draw for this game. For you, it might not be. And there's plenty of good games out there that, the mechanics, I just don't have the patience, or I don't find that gameplay enjoyable.
Yeah.
And I might miss out on something. So if you miss out on it, it's okay. Yeah. I'm not going to hold it against you. I'm not going to say, oh my God, you're an idiot. What's wrong with you? You need to play this game. No. But I do encourage you to give it a try and pick it up. And
Yeah.
At the very least, hey, watch some Let's Plays or something of people playing it.
Yeah.
Or maybe just watch the highlight moments of the videos.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Lose a little bit of the story because the way it unfolds.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah,
it was good.
I'm really excited to see what Guerrilla's gonna do.
Yeah.
Continuing on.
I'm both excited and scared because that whole sequel. There's always expectations for a sequel. Everyone wants to be bigger than and that's usually what happens. They try to make it bigger than the last one. And so don't focus on size.
They just need to give us. They just need to give us that everything that they did before, and just tweak the little issues. That's all you need to do. Just give me the same.
I enjoyed Assassin's Creed. I really did. I liked 2, 3. Most of the ones I played, even the ones other folks didn't like. But once we got to the last couple, where it's just this huge, gigantic world of side quests. Now, I love the investigation stuff, but. And there's even investigation in this one using Aloy's focus.
Yeah.
But there was just so much, and the world was so large. It's like, what's my incentive to go do anything besides even the main story? It's like I feel like I need to do more, but I don't want to. There's just. I feel like they did a good balance with Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah, I agree. Totally agree. All right, everybody. Yep. Well, this was our kind of review, kind of spoilery, but not really. Review of Guerrilla's Horizon Zero Dawn. This is a PS4 exclusive. Go out and buy this thing. Seriously, we cannot tell you enough to go get this thing and experience it for yourself. It will not disappoint. Yep. So, until next time, tune in Mondays at noon for regular episodes of I Love You, I Know.
I love you.
And tune in on Tuesdays at noon for GameCube Redux. And we will see you guys next week. Hey guys, thanks for watching. And if you want to subscribe, you should click over here. If you want to watch the latest episode of I Love You, I Know, click right here.
If you want to see our latest video, click right here. And if you want to see our latest Let's Play, click right here.
If you're listening on MP3,